and vernacular like nobody's business. It's very hard to be a really good MC without having a strong command of the English language. So I don't have a problem with a 19, 20, 21-year-old person that doesn't really understand politics or whatever. And I don't want you to get up there and start screaming Black Lives Matter or Trump is this, and you don't really know what the fuck. I'm sorry, I apologize. You don't really know what you're talking about, because I was in Cleveland for the convention. I saw America send the best that they have from their police departments. Every police officer that you saw at these conventions were the best of their departments. And what did they do? They sent them to these conventions to babysit people that stood in front of them and held up signs that said, fuck the police. And if that's how they think we're going to improve this situation, they're drastically confused about this. And that's the problem. We have those that don't know talking and those that do know that are silent. And that's the real issue we have in the culture. The music, there's always been shitty rappers. There's always been terrible music. That's always existed. Everybody ain't been Nas and Jay-Z. For every Jay-Z, you get 1,000 da-dun-da-duns. But I mean, you know, usually the smartest and the best tend to rise to the top. The Eminems, Jay-Z, Nas, Kendrick Lamar. The smartest, wisest tend to rise to the top.
Bun B.
Yeah, Bun B, yeah. I mean, you know, not top 5, top 10. Well, top 7, yeah. Anybody else got any other questions? I don't want to hold y'all up too long. It's already Sunday. What is it? Is it 3 o'clock yet? 2:45? It's close enough at 3 o'clock. I'm going to take a couple more questions and I'll let you guys get back to your life. Hey, how you doing? I'm fine.
Yeah, you're doing.
I have a general question. I'm from Houston, big fan of your music, Slim Thug, Paul Wall. So, you know, to all, you know, a lot of youngsters, you know, growing up, you know, you see you're 43 now. But growing up, you have, you know, money, cars, you know, the big pimpin' video on yachts, jewelry, you were saying. So I guess my question is, what, you know, makes you happy, or what, you know, 20s, 30s, 40s, what has found you your happiness, you know? Because to us, you know, we kind of have a different lifestyle. So anyway, just wanted to.
That's a great question. It really began, again, like I said earlier, it's about where you are in life. When I was young and I first got a deal, I just wanted to prove to everybody I was doing it big. I didn't want to prove I made some money, I had some kind of level of success. It was about proving who I was to other people. When I got maybe around 28 or 30, I fell in love with a woman, and then I started trying to prove to her that I was somebody. Children came along. Now I'm at the stage where I'm a grandfather. I have 3 grandkids now. And I have a lot of different responsibilities. I'm recycling now. I never gave up. When I was like, don't mess with Texas, throw that shit out the window. I didn't care, right? Now, I didn't care. There was a time when I was only responsible for myself. And when I was only responsible for myself, life was great. I could make money and then just go out and spend it how I want, buy bottles, hang out, whatever. And then it didn't make me happy anymore. Then I fell in love. And that gave me a different kind of fulfillment. It gave me a different kind of responsibility. And you put children in a factor, and then now you really have something that you live for, right? Because you think that, you know, just the money chase and all of that. There were things that I did when I was younger, when my kids were younger, that I thought I needed to do financially for them to have a sustained life, a secure life. And a good friend of mine, Pete from New York, he was like, yo man, presence over presence. I don't know if any of you know what I mean. Like, your physical presence in front of your children is worth more than any presence you could place before your children. And I stopped working holidays. I don't work Thanksgiving anymore. I don't work Christmas. I don't work New Year's anymore. And that used to be money time. I don't know if y'all know, but you get like overtime and double pay, like for how, yo, we get triple pay. So somebody be like, yo, Bun B, man, we want you to come do this Christmas party. Oh man, I can't leave for Christmas, dog. You know, I got a wife and kids and shit, I can't leave. You have to pay me some real money. Now, I realize there is no amount of money they can pay me to take away Christmas, seeing the look in my grandchildren's eyes because they still believe in Santa Claus. It's crazy. They still believe we're hiding presents in the trunk, in the attic, in the garage, all of that to keep the dream alive. And it's amazing to see that light in the kids' eyes when they wake up and the cookies are gone and the milk is half drunk and everyone has an idea of what a perfect life is. And that depends on where you are. When I was younger, a perfect life didn't really take a lot. It didn't really take a lot from anyone else. It didn't take a lot from me. Now, for me to have a perfect life, it takes everything in me. I want everything that I do to go towards having a perfect life. But what is a perfect life? My wife not calling me and giving me grief about something. My kids not sad because I'm not there at the football game or the basketball game. Being able to pick up my grandkids from school. My grandchildren live in Houston. I didn't have that kind of relationship with my grandparents. It used to be like a field trip, like a whole big thing. We all pack up the car and drive 6 hours out to the country to go see my grandparents, and it was only on holidays. If it's Tuesday at 2 o'clock and I want to see my granddaughter, I can do that. That's fulfillment. That's happy. Being able to do exactly what you want to do for yourself and the people you love and care about. When you're young and it's just you don't really love nobody, you don't care about nobody. So it's self-fulfillment. You get me? It's self-fulfillment. You get a partner in life, somebody that's going through the ups and downs with you. Now, not only do you want fulfillment, you want to make sure they're fulfilled. And then when you bring these young lives into the world, that's your responsibility. You brought them here, you made them, you got to take care of them. You want to see their dreams fulfilled. It's all proportionate to where you are in life. But for me, honestly, with a wife and kids and grandkids, I like to sit in my underwear with no shirt on the sofa, with my feet kicked up. I didn't come here to lie, with a blunt, because I can do that because I have a job. I have a real job. Look, see, you can't do that. See, I knew that was going to send the wrong message. We just talked about how people pull the messages that they want out of what I'm 43 years old. I'm my own boss. I can do that. I can sit down and smoke a blunt if I want to. I just can't let them catch me smoking a blunt. But we're getting there. Texas is coming around. We're coming around. We'll be pro-recreational in about 10 years. This whole country will be pro-recreational in about 10 years. Make sure you got a life before you got a blunt. Yeah, that's safe. I think that's safe. One more. Come to you right quick. Y'all too old to know Phil down to you. That's what I feel like right now.
Hi. So I wanted to know, you said that your gig with Vice kind of fell into your lap. So I was wondering how, as you've been on the road and you've been doing your writing and doing your researching, how you make sure you're not losing your voice. You have particular opinions and you're, maybe you agree with some, maybe you don't agree with others, and you've been at the Republican, you've been at the Democrats. So what do you do? How do you mentally prepare to make sure your own voice is not lost in what you're reporting?
Well, you have to go in with a clear idea of who you are before you walk in these rooms. I can tell you that because I've been in rooms with people that I know for a fact I don't agree with ideologically, but the way they present the argument, I don't know. I mean, I thought for years that I'd be a Democrat for life, and I've had some Republicans sit in front of me and give me the whole conservative spiel, and I'm not gonna lie, I've been in a room with Marco Rubio and was like, you know what, if I could vote, I could see him as president. It's very easy to say you're a Democrat, you're a Republican, but here's the reality for me. I feel like everyone wants the same things in life, right? We want better opportunities for ourselves. We want better opportunities for the people we love. We don't want the people we love, right? The people that we love, the person that I love, right, to be discriminated against. We want them to have the best opportunities in life. We want that for our children as well, right? But who we love, right? Who we love, who I love, right? That's different for everyone. And that's kind of how we choose and align ourselves based on who we feel thinks like us, feels like us, and can also get us to this perfect world that we're looking for. When I'm in rooms with certain people, it's obvious I don't agree with them, this is bull, I'm out of here. But it's not always that simple. You know what I'm saying? So, again, like I said, get a life before you get a blind. Have a very clear idea of who you are before you get in a room or get in a place or get around people with opinions and lifestyles, opinions and lifestyles so strong and potentially so subversive that you could change the way you feel in the room. I've seen people walk in a room and says, well, I'm conservative, but I don't really agree with Trump. And then they get in there and somewhere along the lines it's like, yeah, build that wall, It's mob mentality, right? And I think that's one of the things that you're talking about. How do you not lose yourself? It's very, very easy to lose yourself in mob mentality. You go to a baseball game, you're gonna do the wave at some point. You're gonna sing the Yellow Rose deep in the heart attack. You're gonna get caught up in the mob mentality, right? You're gonna clap, you're gonna do that. So again, it's very, very necessary that before you walk in a room, I walked in a room that I had been preparing myself for the entire year. My whole point of writing for Vice, my end game was being in the room when Donald Trump accepted, if Donald Trump accepted the nomination, and just be in that room and see what it was like. And I left. I couldn't, by the time he spoke, I had left the arena because people were laughing and cheering and applauding and dancing, and it was about what they were dancing for and who they were applauding and what they were celebrating. And in my eyes, it was so many isms I can't even keep count. Sexism, racism, classism, bullshitism, any ism you could think of, you know what I'm saying? But I went to a Democratic rally, I went to a Hillary Clinton rally, and they're pandering too. There's really no difference there. Who went to the U of H rally for Hillary Clinton? Did anybody here go to okay, good, you're gonna love this. You go to the Hillary Clinton rally, the first thing they did was brought out a mariachi band for their Latino voters. Then they brought out the dragon dancers for their Asian voters. Then they brought out Kim Burrell and the gospel choir for their people of color. They brought out a gay person to speak for the LGBT. Then they brought out a DJ from the radio station that just played top 40 for everybody. They made people feel comfortable in the room so they would be more likely that they would accept the message that they were presenting. It's no different than the other room. They probably don't like all these people. They probably have no idea what the mariachi people would sing, dancing to. They had no idea, didn't know want for it. Just like, hey, we are like you. We agree with you. This is so you feel comfortable. There's pandering on both sides. So you have to have a clear idea of who you are, because the Democrat argument is very appealing, but I don't think everyone's happy with that candidate. The Republican candidate can be appealing to some, revolting to others, but people are going to vote for Donald Trump even though they don't support him, in the same way that they're going to vote for Hillary Clinton and they don't really support her, because it's just about beating the other side. They don't really care about what we care about. They just want to beat the other side. That's why I say don't worry about Hillary Clinton and don't worry about Donald Trump, because it really doesn't matter which one of them win. As far as your life goes on a day-to-day basis, it's all about who represents your district in city council, who represents your district on the school board, who's your alderman, who are the people that get paid to fix the crack on your street. You should know that type of shit, because everybody's gonna have a crack on their street at some point. You should know who's responsible for stop signs in your neighborhood, because you might have a kid one day and you wanted your kid to play outside and they need to be stop signs and things like that. You get to a place where you start worrying and being concerned about that kind of shit, and then you want to find out who can fix it, and everybody on TV can tell you, they promise you they can fix it. And none of them really on a day-to-day basis have anything to do with that. So you just have to go in with a clear idea of who you are, what your principles are, what ideologies you align with, and pray to God you can hang on to that when you walk in that room and when you walk out. Boom. what's up? It's gonna take a while, so. I'm not gonna keep fucking with you. See, she met me halfway. Teamwork makes the dream work, folks. How you doing? All right, what's your name? Where you from?
I'm Sina, and I'm from Dallas. And
All right, and what brings you to the Price is Right?
meeting you. My question for you is, with all the success that you've had, both personally and professionally, what do you want all of us, or everybody, what would you want everybody to remember you the most for? What do you want your living legend to be like?
All I want is that when I'm gone, for my children and my grandchildren, when they go and say that I'm their father or I'm their grandfather, that people say, oh, he was a good man. That's really all I can hope for, right? Because people are so opinionated about people and everything. And I thought that signing a record deal was going to be my claim to fame. I was wrong. I thought having a #1 album in the country was going to be my claim to fame. I was wrong. I thought having Grammy nominations and winning MTV Video Music Awards and all this stuff, I thought all this stuff would be my claim to fame. And then my granddaughter was born. And it's just everything before that moment, in my eyes, didn't matter as much. So for me, my legacy as a father and as a grandparent, and also as a human being, is just to make sure that I leave the world a little bit better than it was when I got there. And that the people that I'm responsible for, to take care of, and to make sure that they have the best opportunities in life, that they get that. Because it's not promised. And all I can do is live my life with the best of intentions. We're gonna all wanna do shit. You're gonna try hard. You're not gonna succeed or get to everywhere that you're gonna try to go. But when the time comes, and it's your time to go, you wanna be able to look back on your life and see more good shit than bullshit. Now, again, I apologize for my language, but I have to be very blunt about these kind of, I'm very serious about this. You can die and lose your life at any moment, and what do you want to be doing in that moment? That's how I try to live my life at every moment, so that if I'm in the car going somewhere and I get in a car wreck, I'm not on my way doing some bullshit. I'm not with a woman that's not my wife in the car. All of these kind of things will kill my legacy in one fell swoop. Very, very small lapses of judgment will live longer than I will. So that's my whole thing, but again, I wasn't always that person, obviously. You can look at, type my name up, you can see a couple of arrests on my record. I didn't always make the best decisions in life. And anybody that tells you did is bold-faced lying to you. But, I mean, you try to do the best with what you know at the moment. And then, you deal with the consequences and try not to make those mistakes again. You're gonna make mistakes all through life. Nobody gets out of this scot-free. Nobody walks through with a clean slate. It's all about trying not to make the same mistakes twice. At least not with the same person. One more question and I think we're gonna wrap it up. My knee is starting to hurt. I have a torn meniscus. Told you I'm an old man. Hi, how are you?
Thank you, Bun B, for coming to speak to us.
You're welcome.
Yes. You spoke a little bit about your process in hip-hop and how it's evolved into you becoming an educator. And I notice now, especially in mainstream media and as a community of color, there's often a disconnect between how we receive hip-hop music and how we're actually understanding the justice system and how that affects Black and brown bodies in the United States. How do you think, as a generation, especially for the Indian community, because we sort of compartmentalize our issues, like saying, okay, so this is the brown community's issues, okay, that's the Black community's issues. How do you think we can come together and sort of support each other in the political process and not have that disconnect between hip-hop and what's really happening on a very real level in America with Black and brown bodies?
I think it's by leaning on our humanity more than our color. Because that's the common ground that we all have, is that we're all members of the human race. And if we really look at the things that matter as far as humans are concerned, then it's not a Black problem, it's a human problem. It's not a brown problem, it's a human problem. And we have to stop seeing each other so much as members of different races, and more so as members of one race. And that's the human race. Everyone doesn't everyone hasn't really come to terms with their humanity. So it's hard for people to try to address someone else's issues before they address their own. But we at least have to try to address them in sync to some level. As a black man, when a black person is gunned down in my community, I can count on seeing black people protesting. I can count on seeing brown people protesting. I'll see white people, I'll see everyone protest when a black person is killed. We see it on TV, people of every color, race, and creed march. But we don't really do that when a Mexican is killed, a Latino is killed. We don't really do that when an Asian is killed. We don't do that when white people are killed. And that's a real problem. In order for all of us to move forward, we have to move forward together. There has to be humanity shown to everyone. We have to go and stand with those that stand with us. We have to go and show that we care for those that care for us. I was in Philadelphia there was a protest march, and it was held by the Black Resistance Movement of Philadelphia. And it was a march for Black Lives Matter, and it was a march about, just how people of color are being dealt with in general in this country. And the organizer stood up at the march and thanked everyone for coming out. And there's a black woman that organized the march, the head of the Black Resistance. And she asked for all the white people to move to the back of the march. And in the moment, I couldn't believe she didn't even realize the irony of her statement, right? And so her argument was it wasn't about white sympathy, it was about black unification. Well, all you're doing is taking people away who came to help you, who came to support you, and telling them you don't want that help. But you're gonna need that help. There's no way to move forward without that help. We all have to learn to stand together as one, united, and stop putting certain things above other things. And I can say this as a black man, we as black people, we always look for people to come and support us. We always want to get so enraged about what happens in our community. And it's true, and we should be enraged, but we should also be enraged about every injustice that's happening in every community. Because I see people who don't live in my community and who don't look like me come to this community when things happen and try to stand with us and walk with us. I don't know if it's for the right reason or for the wrong reason. Maybe they need to feel better about themselves. Maybe it's white guilt. I don't know, but we need it. And we have to show that same kind of sympathy. We have to show that same kind of humanity. We have to, as humans on all sides, learn to stand with each other. Once we do that, we can start to progress. The other side is the internal struggle that people have. The concept of black people all being a monolith, which is not true. I'm sure for Indians, it's the same issue. I'm sure, like you say, all your issues are compartmentalized, but everyone doesn't feel the same way about everything. And certain people feel like certain things are first and foremost. And everyone has a different level of priority, right, as far as we are concerned. But if we take a look at the bigger picture and see what other concerns are, you know what? If we can help these people get past that, then that'll be precedent in court, and then that precedent will carry on to us, and then that eliminates it for everyone. But we don't do that. Everyone wants their problems solved first, and that's because as much as we hate to label and categorize and draw lines in the sand, we do. And for certain issues, it's necessary for demanding an end to things, but in order to get to those things, right? The cause of why we're here is because of what's happening to me as of my color group. But the effect will be for that all people to stand together, because injustice for one is injustice for all. And I guess on that note, I've sweated enough under my polo shirt. I want to thank all of you for coming and sitting and bearing with the OG for an hour. And God bless you all. Enjoy the rest of the conference and have a blessed day.
Thank you one more time. I couldn't think of anyone else better to represent for Houston and talk to you guys today. I know you're pretty busy today on Sunday. Go home, sit on your couch, enjoy the rest of the afternoon. Thank you guys for coming, and hope you got a good message out of this. Thanks.